Hey there, it's Justin. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be looking at Summer House at Martha's Vineyard, Season 2, Episode 8. Episode 8. Okay, so we pick up at Nick's event. What was that event called? Something on the Bluffs? Y'all know what I'm talking about. And, Bria and Simon, they arguing. Lord, it never fails. It never fails. But this time I feel like Bria has every right to be upset with him because he came down in a flamingo suit at a nice event that was honoring his line brother. So Bria's up there, she's upset. She tells him to pack his stuff and go. Okay? She's like, you got to go. Okay? So then we cut to Jasmine and Summer, and then Summer's friend is up there visiting Summer because, Summer had left early to go and do her thing. Not do her thing. Well, yeah, I guess you could say she was doing her thing alone or whatever because she just said she felt like it was a little, awkward. Like, she felt socially awkward because she's not drinking and stuff. And so she talks about, her being sober at the party, which I'm very proud of because I'm like, good for you, girl. Good for you. You're going in with sober thoughts. So, thumbs up for you. So then we see Simon and Bria. Bria starts talking to Amir, and then Simon joins or whatever. And I think Amir was a little tipsy. Okay, he said that he wasn't drunk, but I'm like, you're kind of giving off drunk vibes, in my opinion. Okay. Because he's like he was giving him advice, but then he was touching all on Simon. So he was like, look at me, hey, look at her and apologize, apologize to her. Because it wasn't, I think he did need to apologize to her because what you did, Simon, it was wrong. It was all the way wrong, okay? But he felt like he did nothing wrong. He was like, I'm just trying to have a good time. You couldn't have a good time in the suit. You couldn't have a good time in what you was wearing. Just had to go upstairs and put on that flamingo suit. Girl, I was pissed with them. I was pissed with Bria. What are you doing? Can we not? Anyway. So then, he says that he feel like he did nothing wrong. And Simon is just like, I'm not going to come here again. I'm done. And Bria's like, okay, do what you do. Do your thing, big baby. Do your thing. And she just walks out. Even though she was struggling to open that door, she still walked out. So she goes upstairs, she calls her mom. Her mom sounds young as F. I was like, what your mama look like, Bria? I mean, because Bria's a pretty girl. I feel like her mama's probably really pretty too, because she sounds really young. But she was like, I'm putting him out. I got his credit card. I'm just gonna book him a hotel or whatever. And he gotta go. And her mom was like, no, because he did fly all the way from Germany. It just sounds like it's just something really petty. Just let him stay. So then she agreed to let him stay, but she was like, the relationship is done. It's over. So then the next morning, everyone is waking up and they're basically just getting their life together. And Bria is talking to the girls. And when I say the girls, Nat, she's included, Shanice, and Noelle. So it's 4 of them all on this one little hammock. They talking about they're talking about Simon at first, and then they kind of moved on talking about Nick and Tasia. Okay, but Bria was talking about saying Simon, he's been acting weird since he found out that that he's not gonna be able to stay as long as he would like to stay. So that's why he's been drinking so much and been basically acting out. That's what I call it. He's basically acting out. So yeah, but she was like, we have to set we need to set some boundaries now. And I'm like, heck yeah, because this man over here acting out because he's not gonna be able to stay as long as he wants. It's kind of like a child throwing a tantrum. That's what it sounds like to me. But then again, it's okay, well, Simon, why don't you just go get you a room somewhere? You can't stay in the hotel, in the house. So just go get you a room somewhere, and then when the show is over with, y'all get together. I'll go to New York with her. I mean. But then again, I don't know what Simon do for a limit. He could be, he probably only has a certain amount of time he could take off of work. What does Simon do? I don't even know what do Bria do? I feel like she does something with fashion. I don't know. Anyway, so they talk about that. And then they start gossiping about Nick and Tasia. Okay. Here's where the things get a little juicier for me. Because honestly, Bria and Simon's argument and stuff, I was bored by it. But, it is what it is. But anyway, this is where it gets juicy for me. So, Bria and Simon. Okay, not Bria and Simon. Tasia and Nick, right? So, last night, that last night, Tasia was waiting for Nick to come upstairs and go to bed or whatever, but he was like downstairs still partying or whatever, which is okay. That's fine. I didn't know that he put Shanice to bed. I think that's what they said, but I do remember seeing something where Shanice was like, he was in there talking to Shanice because Shanice was laying in his bed or whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe he did put her to bed because she was drinking and maybe she was drunk or whatever, and he was just being like being a friend, I didn't think too much of it. I didn't think it was that much, like, that big of a deal. However, they were just talking about Nick and how he's been acting in a relationship because, in the beginning, he had a conversation with Jordan and Summer about being handsy. He was like, do I make y'all feel uncomfortable? Am I like too handsy with y'all? And, or touchy, whatever. And they was like, you do get handsy. But they talked about it, they squashed it, whatever. And they what am I trying to say? So yeah, they talked about that. It's like, okay, we're good. Let's move on, whatever. But then they bring Bria, Noelle, and Shanice bring it up saying like, yeah, he's like, you got a girlfriend, but you over here, posing with us. Cause Noelle was like, girl, my man would not be sitting up here having his arm draped around a titty and then having your other arm around the waist. And I agree with her because my man did that, but like, looking at you side eye, what you doing? What you, get your hands up. I would do all that. I probably would. But it's like, you got a girlfriend, don't be acting like that, okay? So, anyway, so yeah, they talk about him being like really like touchy-feely and stuff like that. And then Nat said, she was like, well, I can say something to Tasia about like the girls want to talk to you about this, and they was like, well, we don't want to approach it, like, we don't want to say nothing. Because Bria was like, last year I was like, we didn't know Nick had a girlfriend. We didn't know Nick had a girlfriend. Oh, we really didn't. I mean, I didn't. The cast didn't, because Nick was like very flirty, but when he drinks, he gets touchy. Do your thing, big baby. Do your thing. So yeah, so that was like, I could just say, say something to her, that you guys want to talk to her about it. But it was like, nah, we not going to talk to her. We don't want to talk to her. We don't want to approach her. This is just us talking, basically. We're going to come back to that in just a second. Anyway, so Amir and Tasia talk. Why did Amir and Tasia talk? I mean, I'm over here looking at my notes. I'm like, Amir and Tasia talk. When did this happen? Where was I? It didn't happen. I meant Amir and Nat, they talk, right? Because Nat was telling him about like what the girls, what her and the girls were talking about. And he's like, yeah, no, you should, try to talk to her, basically give her a heads up or whatever. And I'm just like, I've been looking at Amir sideways since he talked about him and Mariah, not wanting to apologize to Mariah. He did nothing wrong. And I'm just like, okay. Anyway, so yeah, he's over here saying that, and that she should give them a heads up. I personally feel like if it was just between them, like, keep it between them. I understand Tasia is your girl or whatever, but I don't know. Like, I kind of go back and forth, like, yeah, that's my friend, and y'all saying this about her dude, then I'm gonna tell my friend, like, okay, so this is what was said, but we'll we'll get to that in just a second. So then Simon and Bria, they talk. And Simon, this is actually an interesting conversation, because Simon was saying that he was really sad to hear her say, like, we're done. Like, she was so quick to end things. And, you know, Bria was like, well, you know, you was coming down here. You was looking like a fool, being foolish at this event. Like, you're coming down here in a flamingo suit, and I asked you to go change, and you're just like, I just want to have fun. You know, whatever. However he talked. And, you know, Simon said, or Bria was like, you basically was not being respectful, and you were behaving bad. Excuse me. And Simon was like, well, you behave. Oh, because Bria was like, if I would have did that at your watch room event. I called it a Watchman. If I would have did that at your watch room event, you would have cursed me out. And so Simon was like, but you did act bad at my watch room event. And Bria's like, what you mean? So she was like, so he says like, oh, so apparently Simon said that Bria was like, yeah, at the washroom event, you came down like 5 minutes. And it was like, it took you 5 minutes to come down and be like, I don't F with these people. And then you went and go sit in the car. And I'm like, that sound about right. Sound like Bria. Sound like something Bria would say. So then, you know, Simon says that, or Bria was like, I didn't F with those people, and you've been putting me in dangerous situations. And this is where it's getting very, very interesting, because I did not expect her to say anything like this. So she says that, and then she's talking about being a black woman in Germany. So apparently they did live together. I don't remember that, but they did used to live together in Germany. But she was experiencing racism. This is what Bria said. That she, the Germans were saying racist things to her, and he was just turning a blind eye to it, like he didn't see it or he didn't hear it or whatever. And he kept making excuses for them. Honestly, if that was me and I'm put in a situation where my man is not even going to stand up for me, and I know that you're making racist remarks towards me, we can't be together. I'm sorry. Because I'm not going to sit up here while you sit up here turning a blind eye and you're acting like you're being blind. Like, you know what is being said. You know it's racist, and you're making excuses for this. I personally, that's not my thing. We couldn't. Yeah, no, we wouldn't. We want to rock with each other. But that's what Bria want to do. That's what Bria want to do. Hello. So okay. So she said that, and she said, you're being blind to it because you're white. And that's the thing. That was another thing. And I'm like, that's it. And he really didn't say much about it, because I feel like he couldn't really say much about it. Like, if you're turning a blind eye to that, yeah. Yeah. So then she even said, like, his family have said racist things about her. Blind to it. His friends have said racist things about her. His friend pushed her. And she said she pushed back. And he was just like blind to it. And it's like, Simon, you gonna let these folks talk about your girl, talk to your girl like this, talk about your girl like this, and push her like this? Because Bria said that his cousin was like, oh, I didn't know Simon was dating an indigenous woman. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know German culture. I don't know what they be talking or how they treat black people, but I know that if she felt uncomfortable, you need to make your woman feel comfortable. You need to have your woman's back, because if they're over there saying racist things and you over here turning a blind eye to it, like, I don't know, they said that, I don't remember that, you know, what kind of relationship would that be? You know, I wouldn't feel safe. I wouldn't feel secure. I wouldn't feel any of that. Honestly, I wouldn't feel any of that, because if it's like, I see this happening once and you over here making excuses for it, oh, we done. We done, you know? Anyway, so Bria also tells Simon that he doesn't listen or whatever. So, but she says she's willing to work with him because he's given her chance after chance after chance after chance when she's not even deserving of it. And I'm like, that's so nice of you, Bria, because honestly, I feel like being comfortable in a relationship matters to me. And if I have to go to this person's place and I don't feel comfortable, my man does not make me feel comfortable or safe, we can't be together. But that's just me. That's just me. So yeah, she's willing to work it out, But he needs to make her feel secure, and he needs to listen more. Yeah, that's what she said. Anyway, so then they have like this bike riding event. Every year they do a bike ride. And but Tasia did not bring any bike riding clothes. So, because Nick didn't relay that message to her. So, Nick and Tasia decided they're not going to go to brunch. I mean, they're not going to go. They're just going to meet them at brunch. Which they actually looked really pretty. I love, Tasia is beautiful, y'all. I was looking at her hair, looking at her skin, looking at her dress. I said, okay. And then Nick kind of was like, they was matching with their red. I was like, that's something I would do with my man. I'd be like, we gonna match. So I thought that was really cute. So yes. And so they go do their little thing, and Amir is like sick, y'all. Like, homeboy is sick. He had too much to drink. I mean, I know that feeling. He's like, just don't put alcohol in my face. And I get it. But I'm glad that he didn't throw up. At least I don't think he threw up. If he did, I didn't see anything, God. So, Nat, we're at brunch, y'all, okay? I do the bike ride. Everybody's at brunch now. And Nat gets up because Amir was like, yeah, you should go, talk to her or whatever. Make sure she don't get blindsided. So Amir gets up. Not Amir. Nat gets up and goes to where Tasia is sitting. And she's like, hey, girl. So can I talk to you for a second? And Tasia's like, about what? And she's like, just some of the concerns that some of the girls have. And Tasia's like, I'm gonna leave. I'm leaving soon, so I'm good, basically. So it's fine. She's like, it's fine. I'm leaving. It's fine. So Nana's like, okay. So Nick probably looking like, what you want to talk about, Nat? Like, what's happening here? And so I feel like Tasia knows about her man, and so she's not really pressed to hear about her man. Because I feel like she knows what she's gonna say, and that's why she's kind of like, I don't really need to hear it. So, it is what it is at this point. That's what I think. Okay. She didn't want to hear it. She's fine. We gonna keep it pushing, right? And so anyway, Nick texts, so they're done with brunch, and Nick texts Nat, like, saying what was that all about? And Nat tells him about like the conversation between Bria, Shanice, and Noelle and her. She was like about him being touchy, and about like I was just giving her a heads up because so she's gonna be blindsided about them coming to talk to her or whatever. But here's the thing about that: they said they wasn't gonna talk to her about it though. So to me, I hear what Amir is saying, that her intentions weren't malicious, and that that Tasia and her are friends. However, I feel like you're starting stuff, because if they said, well, honestly, it's on TV, she gonna see it either way it go. But you're starting stuff. Like, they said it wasn't, we were just having girl talk. We wasn't gonna go back and tell her. And they told Nat that, but Nat decides she wants to get up and tell this girl. For what? They said they wasn't gonna say anything. And Nat has the nerve to say, oh, I don't want to be the problematic, dramatic girl. Well, girl, you kind of was. In my opinion, you kind of was, because if nobody wasn't gonna say anything, then, So yes. So then we get back to the house, and Nick is very upset about this. Like, because he was like, Tasia didn't like that or whatever, and he is like, why are y'all even saying this stuff? Like, this is the issue that I had. Preston was like, this is the issue. Like, everybody is talking amongst, I guess amongst each other instead of going to the source or whatever. So yeah, Nick is upset about this. Nick says to Noelle, like, Nick says to Noelle, like, I know you want to be included, but that's effed up. Oh, Noelle is like, excuse me? First of all, Nikki, I wasn't the one that was saying that you got handsy with me. Second of all, I was just sitting there, just hearing the conversation. I wasn't even saying that you were handsy. I didn't say none of that. Okay. She said I was just present for the conversation. I didn't say you got handsy with me, first and foremost. So then he was like, so she went and grabbed Shanice and Bria. And of course, Bria the last one to come down there. But yeah, and Noelle was like, I just feel like it's effed up that somebody would come up and, what'd she say? Yes, she said she felt it was messed up that, or effed up, maybe messed up, I don't know, that it would even go back to her. Like, it wasn't that serious enough for it to get back to her. Because it was literally just girl talk, And Shanice was like, well, because he was like, have I gotten touchy with you? And Shanice was like, no, but you have wandering eyes. And everybody said that. And then when they showed like flashback, we saw that, well, we said that too. Well, I said it, that he was looking, he was looking. He was looking. But they was like, this is you when you drink. So, Noelle said, Noelle said it just wasn't that serious for it to get back to her. And that's when Nat says, well, because Preston was like, what is the origin? Like, why? Basically, why? And then I was like, well, I'm the one that brought it up to Tasia. I'm the one that brought it up to bring it to Tasia. Because, that's my friend. And here go Amir. It wasn't. I'm like, Amir, just... But I get it. He's taking up for his girl because I want somebody to take up for me too. But, I'm just like, no, that's not. And so Nick kind of had that look like, really? So, Bria finally comes down and Bria says, well, I didn't talk about you. Girl, yes, you did. What do you mean you did? That's the whole reason why we're here, because y'all was talking about him, okay? But she said that I didn't say you got handsy with me. I just say you flirt. And he was like, I was flirting with you. She said, yes. So when they showed flashbacks or whatever, it was some of the things I felt like wasn't flirty, but then it was like he did say some stuff that was flirty. So I'm like, okay, but she was like, but that's just how you are when you drink. But then she didn't like the fact that I don't think he was raising his voice. It was more so of a tone. Like when you have like that stern tone, it's a sternness to it. She was like, you're not going to talk to me like that. I'm going to go or whatever. And she starts to walk away. And he's like, this is what you do, whatever. She don't like people having that tone with her. And honestly, I ain't going to lie, because I don't like people having that tone with me. But I'm like, Bria, girl, come on. This man is very upset. It's okay for you to do it, but it's a problem if other people have a tone with you. But it's okay for you to have a tone with other people. Okay. All right. So, she's like, excuse me. Nick is not letting her, like, he ain't feeling it. Okay. He's still getting his point across. And she's like, let it out. Let it out. Let it out. And I'm like, girl, she about to let something else out. You better leave him alone. But yeah, this is actually going to be to be continued. Because I want to hear more about this conversation between them or whatever, and like Nat. I honestly feel like Nat should not have went back and told told Tasia anything. I feel like it should have just stayed between them or whatever. But that's what you get for bringing outsiders into y'all little clique or whatever. We just met this girl like yesterday, and we already sitting up here gossiping with her. We don't know her. I'm not gonna sit up here and talk because I'm thinking that you cool, but then I gotta realize, wait, girl, you with this girl, like y'all are friends. So I don't know you, and she's just like, I'm not trying to be that problematic girl. Well, girl, in this instance, I kind of feel like you was, but then again, I get it. This is your friend. You're trying to go and talk to her. I would definitely say something to my best. Like if I hear this talking about my best friend, oh yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. I didn't know Tasia and her were friends. I just thought that maybe they double dated a couple of times, but maybe they do have a friendship outside this. Good for them. I love that for y'all. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys for joining me today. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.